have one presentation today. One of the facilities.
Whenever you control that facilities.
Yes. Okay. Ready to go?
Okay, we're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. Will you please rise and join me in the pledge to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let the record show all board members are present and accounted for with the exception of trustee Devine. No actions were taken in closed session. At this moment, we will adopt the agenda, but we will be removing the facilities update. So I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Public comment. Members of the public may address the Board of Trustees regarding any agenda item during board consideration of that item. Please note that if you wish to address the Board of Trustees on an agenda item, you should do so when that specific item is called by the board president. In order to speak, all you have to do is submit a comment card in person if you're here, in person. Please give it to the board assistant, and the board president will call you up at that time. If you would like to speak, if you are watching online and you would like to comment via Symbol Gamut or via live chat, you may comment there as well. Comments submitted online will be read by the board assistant. All remarks are limited to 2 minutes in duration. Now, this is the time in which members of the public, staff, or whatnot can address the board on items that are not on the agenda. Please note that because they are not agendized items, we cannot take action on them, but do know that we are listening, and in due time we will do what we can to try and address whatever your issue or concern may be. With that, is there anyone who would like to address the board on an item that is not on the agenda? You have no one present, anyone online? You have no comments online, so we'll go ahead and move forward to reports, and we'll start with the Robla Education Foundation.
He's being nice to me tonight. Anyways, I got 3 things to report on. There was a request for a $500 grant for our Food and Nutrition Services Department in support of the Thanksgiving Giving. That was approved by most of you because you worked the booth. Those who didn't work the booth didn't get a chance to weigh in on this. But anyways, that was passed. The check is already in the hands of the district, so that one is a good. We also had a request for $500 matching grant to go along with the $500 that Lisa Kaplan granted to the Glenwood PTC.
Girl Scouts.
Girl Scouts. They are starting a new troop. It's used to be covered under the ELOP program. However, now it's not, so they have started one over at Glenwood, and they needed to put the registration fees in, which are considerable. But that was approved by everybody unanimously. They just have to tell me who to write the check to. And last, I'm going to take some more good thunder, yes. I actually had a real good turnaround this time on the Scholastic books for the Terrific 10 students. They ordered them last Thursday. I got them today. They'll receive them in the morning. Any questions?
Thank you.
If not, then all of you have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Same to you, sir.
Thank you.
And then we go to Robla Teachers Association, CSEA, Superintendent's Report.
Good evening. Bear with me, it might be a little bit lengthy today. But I did want to acknowledge we had a great, terrific 10, so I'm excited that the students already turned in their request for books. I always emphasize how important that is, and that Mr. Raven will be getting them as soon as they submit it, so that's great. All sites had harvest festivals. The California dashboard was released today, and Cindy Lane will be giving an update at the next board meeting. I wanted to follow up on the question regarding when RFPs are required. And in summary, I seek legal counsel, and I provided an update to the board. But in summary, there are situations where, with exceptions that don't require an RFP, for example, for professional services or advice, insurance services, or services with specialized knowledge. What I'm exploring is how I can provide that information, I'm going to say in simple terms, on our website, like under the business services section when we do bidding or facilities. So that's what I'm exploring, just to provide a little bit more clarity, and easy to access. So I do want to take some time to provide an update regarding an event that happened last week, and with misinformation circulating in the district, right? So, and then I wanted to provide some information regarding AB 49 and SB 98 with immigration. So last week, there was an incident where immigration law enforcement had detained one of our parents, right? It happened at their home, right, and not on school property. Right? And so, unfortunately, a lot of information was posted on social media, and I'm going to say misinformation, that said it happened on district property, specifically at the school. And when information like that is communicated, especially with social media, it really does create a lot of unnecessary concern and harm, right? And so what I wanted to emphasize is just clarifying what the requirements are, right? And so AB 49 outlines when immigration law enforcement can come on campus, right? And the only time that they can come on any district property is if they have an official judicial warrant or court order, right? And that is the only instance where they are allowed on campus. And then if that happens, SB 98 requires me to inform everybody, and I say the whole school community, our parents, our guardians, our administrators, our teachers, our staff, right, that this event occurred, that this event had a court order or judicial warrant, when and where, right? And I'm required to message that in all, and my intent would be via email, via Parent Square, via text, via social media. I'm not sure about our website, but, making sure that how we communicate is clearly using all forms. So if you're hearing me or listening, right, please know that if you didn't receive a communication from the district office, right, then it did not happen in our district, right? We received a lot of calls, and our staff had to ensure that nothing happened on our school, on any of our campuses. So I just wanted to share that. Okay. And then finally, just a list of upcoming events. So next Thursday, we will have a board data workshop. It will be workshop style, so everyone is invited. That will start at 5:30 p.m. The following day, Friday, November 21st, will be our Thanksgiving turkey drive. It will start at 1:30, and it will be at Main Avenue. Parent conferences are Monday, November 24th, and Tuesday, the 25th, so no students, right? Students have all week off, right? And then the rest of the break, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the district office will be closed. Tuesday, December 2nd, we're going to have our very first district-wide resource fair that will be held at Main from 4 to 6 p.m. And right now we have I'm going to say over, at least 24 organizations that will be represented, and we're still working on getting more, so we're super excited about that. And then finally, the California School Board Association Conference is on December 3rd through 5th, where I will be participating with all our board members. And I will be representing Robla on 2 panels, one at the Delegate Assembly Luncheon, discussing California Achievement Gap, and the second one, a panel with CASA and CCE discussing political landscape and education. And then finally, our next board meeting, I know I said finally, will be Thursday, December 11th. That's the next, and we only have one board meeting in December, and that's when we will do our selection of board officers. Thank you. End of my report.
Okay, now we'll move on to board member reports, and we'll start with Trustee Cardona.
We had the opportunity to participate in the SCOI dinner. So I'm already can't see with some of the members and the superintendent. I do want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and don't eat too much. That's it. Thank you.
Trustee Hamilton Starks.
Nothing to report at this time, but I do hope you all have a good holiday, and I do hope you overeat.
Trustee Barnes.
2 quick things. I had the opportunity to participate in the SCOI dinner, but did not make it because I had some car problems on the way over there. So, yeah, I missed out on something really good there. And the other is that we had, since our last board meeting, we had an election, and as I mentioned before, I encouraged everyone to vote. I just want to thank everyone for fulfilling their civic responsibility and voting. No matter how you voted, whatever your opinion was, I just want to thank you for participating in our elections because it really does matter.
That's all I have. By the way, to that end, Sacramento County actually was had one of the highest voter turnouts in the last election, just as note. I had a chance to participate in the Terrific 10. I have to say, and I've been to several terrific, I go to at least one every year. This year I had a chance to attend 2, and I will say these were the most communicative students. I mean, really engaged in both talking about, what we were having, talking about what they were doing, what they liked in school. It was really, really a pleasure meeting them. It's always a pleasure meeting the young folks, but this one was exceptional, shall we say. So I am not surprised that they got their book orders in early.
Early. I actually go the next day to each school
Oh.
and have them come up to the office and make.
Okay, so you were early. There you go. Santa made sure he got his orders early. Okay, I get it. Anyway, but they were exceptional kids. Sorry, I confused you, the beard.
Preschool's coming up.
Also had a chance to participate in the Sacramento School Boards Association. Twice a year we do, semi-annually, semi-annually we kind of get together with all of the other school districts, school boards in the county, and we always have a speaker, and it's an opportunity to kind of hear about issues that are going on. And this time they discussed what's going on at the federal level. What's the term I'm looking? It was an interesting discussion. We'll just put it that way. But anyway, it all went really well. Had really good connections with some of the other school board members. For those of you who do not know, our county superintendent, Dave Gordon, is retiring. A little bit special to me because he actually became superintendent at the same time I became a board member here in Robla. So, I think I outlasted him. Another one down. In any case, that's all I have to report. Okay, we're going to move on to presentations and information, and we're going to start with a first reading, revised policies, regulations, or exhibits.
Good evening, everybody. We're bringing forward proposed revisions to Board Policy 1330 and AR 1330, which deals with facility use and facility use fees. You'll see that the changes we are proposing are basically pretty grammatical and mainly cosmetic, but they're all done at the recommendation of CSBA. In addition, there is an updated and revised fee schedule for use of facilities. The reason we needed to do that was twofold. Number one, the main one being to account for the addition of the synthetic fields in the district. And also, the last time, the most recent version of the fee schedule prior to this one was 2015. So it was time to update it with some updated adjustments for cost of living. I'm happy to answer whatever questions you may have, and it's my understanding this will be voted on at the next meeting.
Any questions or comments?
I'm just gonna assume that it's in line with like other districts in the
Thank you.
area.
So I didn't say that. What we did, yes, it is. I looked at surrounding districts in the area. I looked at other comparable districts, comparable in terms of size, enrollment, so yes, it wasn't just, it was other districts' fees were taken into account.
Any additional comments or questions?
And I'm gonna assume that the increase in cost from Robla and Maine versus Bell, Taylor, and Glenwood is because of the new fields.
Yes.
Any additional questions? All right, thank you so very much. Okay, now we're going to move on to consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. All right, moving on to action items. Adopt the 2026-27 California State Preschool Program Continued Funding Application.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion.
This is just our regular request giving us authorization to apply to run the CSPP program in our district.
Any discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item B, approved 2025-26 service agreement with Elevation ELD Management Platform.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion.
Ms. Lyon's going to speak on this.
You should have a clicker.
Okay.
So why they bring this short little presentation up, I want to just talk a little bit about why this agenda item is on our agenda, this action item. Currently and over the years, a lot of the accountability for our Title I, there's quite a bit of accountability under Title III in regards to parent notifications, documentation of processes, documentation of reclassification. And as we've moved into the digital age, more and more of it is kept online, where a lot of it we did by hand. So over the years, we've been working on coming up with a system to try to make sure that we maintain all the documentation that we need necessarily and have access to it when it's required by audits. We have a federal program monitoring audit, but every year we have fiscal monitoring audit, and every year in the fiscal monitoring audit, they randomly pull any number of students. It can be anywhere from 40 to 140. It generally isn't more than that. Of our English learners, whether past or present, that we must provide the documentation to show that we are complying under Title III, sending out parent notifications, parent information in the timely manner and in the time zones in which that information has to go out. So that is my main reason for bringing Elevation forward to you tonight. Thank you. Elevation is a platform. It's a monitoring as well as now a professional development and teacher resource platform. So Elevation as a company has expanded. Elevation has some collaborators that have been working with this company. They've been around for quite a while, but these collaborators are well known in the field of English learner services. The main platform is a place where all of our data for our English learners is stored and easily accessible for all who may need to use it. So there's a platform that can be for my level and my team regarding the EL support teachers. And then there's also platforms that can be developed for each classroom teacher that has the data for the students that are in their classroom. One of the nice things about this platform is that I can customize each dashboard to have the widgets on it that are most pertinent to us. So like right now, LTEL, long-term English learners, is a very important component. It's a new accountability component. So being able to have that as one of those, as well as our newcomers as one of our components on this dashboard. It takes into account our LPAC scores. They call it LP here because they also work outside of California. But they take our LPAC scores and we can compare year to year. We can look at the growth. We can look at how many students are not making growth and how many students are maintaining in a one-stop shop, which currently I do by hand. It's time consuming.
I can imagine.
Also has a component to it for monitoring our RFEP students, our reclassified students. Under Title III, we need to monitor these students for 4 years. And again, we kind of have a paper process that we will upload that documentation into Q, and each EL teacher is doing this, where we can do this now on this platform if we were to have it. Most importantly is the parent letters that I talked about. So every time we give an LPAC assessment, a letter goes out prior to the assessment, a letter goes out after the assessment with the assessment results, and an annual letter goes out at the beginning of every year stating the type of placement that the student is and how they're doing as well in other academic areas. We currently do a mail merge and try to pull all that information together from our different sources. All the information can be housed here, and they have those letters that they keep up to date with CDE, changes that CDE makes, and they have them available in 40+ different languages, where currently we can only do those with about 4 languages.
Now, is that a notification that goes out only if they've not been reclassified, or does it go out even if they've been reclassified?
If they've been reclassified, they're no longer considered an English learner, so they don't need to get this annual letter. These are all the students that are still considered English learners. Mm-hmm. They receive the notification of every time there's going to be testing. Then they receive notification of the testing results. And then every year we send out also an annual letter stating the program they're in and mm-hmm. how they're doing on the other academic components.
Okay.
Okay. And so not only can we send these letters out through this system, but it also will monitor whether the parent actually opened the email. It can send reminder emails, and it'll keep track for us. And my EL teachers can keep track by site, and I can keep track by district, what parents are actually accessing and what they're not accessing.
And if they aren't accessing it, do we also have the ability to then send them a physical letter as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. In terms of each student, individual student, this is a nice place. This is, as I said, they've kind of expanded into more of a resource also for teachers in terms of not just monitoring students, but finding resources for the teachers. So we can monitor individual students, look at over their progress or lack of progress over the years. This will be great for any kind of student study team, any students that might have some IEPs to have this data right at hand to look at progress or lack of progress as we're looking at what type of supports we need to have for the students. I'm going to go back one. The other component with that is when we talk about the dashboard, the teacher dashboard will actually tell the teacher who's in their class and in terms of where they are. It will take the data and it'll say the majority of your students are at level 2, for example, on the writing domain of the LPAC. And then give specific lessons. They have about 140 lessons that are within the dashboard. They'll give them suggestions of lessons to use for students that are at that level, as well as there's some professional development built into that too. They can also have where they can watch small videos on how to deliver one of those lessons, as well as what that data means. So this could bring some efficiency into our department and remove some paperwork time for the EL support teachers and myself, making the EL teachers more available for actual student interaction and less time trying to handle the accountability component. So as I mentioned, there's a teaching component. So some of these slides just talk about what that is. The different model reflection, the learning component, which is the professional development component, and then some reflection on how things are looking after each year when we move forward into the next year and how students are doing. Okay. Oh, one last piece is also they have added a dual language module. So it looks specifically at English learners who are in dual language immersion programs and special professional development and lessons built for dual immersion program classrooms. And I think that's it. Yep. Any questions?
This is an outright purchase, so this isn't like a fee for X number of years.
No, so what I brought forward is purchasing the whole package this year. So it breaks up into different components. There's some parts that we don't have to do. The basic platform that I talked about for the monitoring, we could purchase just that. Or we could also purchase the component that has the professional development and the teacher lessons in it, as well as the option of purchasing or not purchasing the monitoring of how the letters go out to the families. Because at this point in time with my Title III dollars, I have some carryover dollars. I feel this is a good time to try the whole package. I'm looking at implementing it now so that it's kind of a gradual implementation. So we start LPAC testing February 1. I'd like myself and the EL teachers to have access and the training on how to use the platform and how to use the part, especially the part about the parent letters. So we can send our letters out in January. We need to send those letters at least 10 days prior to any testing. We can send those letters out. We can start utilizing it and then have it ready for classroom teachers to be able to access it at the beginning of the school year, next school year, when our 25-26 summative LPAC data is there in the platform. So they're going to start the year knowing exactly who their kids are and where they are, which currently my EL teachers pull that information out of Illuminate, compile the papers for the teachers, and hand them a packet of here are who your students are. Or the teachers have to go into Q and pull up each student and look at their history of scores.
Does it come with, for example, technical support and
Yes.
and updates? And how long do they provide updates?
Updates to the system or
Updates to the software, yeah.
Actually, I do not know how often they provide updates on the software. The individual that I spoke to has already reached out to me and said, your technology department. So this was kind of new to John because I went, ooh, I want to jump on this. But we won't implement this until he has had an opportunity to have that conversation with the representatives from Elevation in terms of the compatibility with our system, how that works with our system. They're in quite a number of districts in California. They do go through Clever, which we use Clever. So we think that it should be okay, but until John has that opportunity to have that conversation, so that's why it's on the consent agenda in terms of if it all goes well on both ends, then we'll move forward. If he finds that this isn't going to work with our system, then we'll wait, we'll hold back.
Okay.
We are bringing it forward to you now without him having doing that because of the timeline and the holidays, because I'd really like to be able to access it in January for my EL teachers for that summative assessment.
Take advantage of that Black Friday sale.
Yes. And after this year, once we've tried all the components and it'll go into January of next year, In my conversations, he's like, you can add things and you can take things off at any point. So if we go forward and I'm finding, for example, that the classroom teachers really aren't utilizing it, that making it worth our while to spend that, because it's about half the cost. Added to the cost of the basic platform, for them to have that access, then that's something we can say, you know what, when this part ends, we're not going to do that because we're not utilizing it. Personally, the part I really want is the part for the managing all the Title III compliance.
I imagine that's going to save us a lot of personnel hours.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Any additional, any discussion or debate?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item C, approve in-plant inspection services for the Main Avenue Elementary new preschool transitional kindergarten classroom project.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion.
In August, the board approved a contract with Rainey Geotechnical, Inc. for special inspection services, and within their contract was a subcontract for in-plant services. We felt it was a better practice to have separate independent inspectors, and so we are asking to approve, I think it's David Castor, as the in-plant inspector to look at our modulars with Enviroplex, and then we will receive a credit from Rainey Geotechnical. And it's more cost-effective.
I like that. Okay, any discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item D, approve annual organizational meeting date of December 11th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. On to board member requests for future agenda items or reports. Trustee Cardona.
Nothing to request.
Trustee Hamilton Starks.
Nothing at this time.
Trustee Barnes. And I have nothing. So with that, we are now adjourned.